The Amex Centurion card is the quintessential black card, the black card to end all black cards. It actually started out as a rumor that there was this super secret, ultra exclusive card that only VIPs and A-list celebrities were invited to. But that all changed in 1999. Here's a quote from Amex's actual original invitation letter to the first ever Centurion cards. "The black card may have started out as a rumor. However, now you have the chance to become one of the first, and I might add, one of the few, to actually carry the legendary black card, the Centurion card from American Express." Now there are other black cards, okay, high-level credit cards. Those are just black cards, but the Centurion card is the black card. And Amex take their black card branding so seriously that they even sued a company called Card LLC when they tried to trademark the Centurion's unofficial name. Card LLC was the company that worked with Barclays and Visa at the time to create the so-called luxury cards, one of which was the black card. Amex won the case and the trademark was cancelled for Card LLC because it was, quote, merely descriptive, meaning the card is black, so it's a black card. It just kind of describes what it is, and apparently that's not trademarkable. But this means that Amex couldn't trademark it either, so still to this day you see the words black card brazenly adorning the black luxury card, and it seems Card LLC found a workaround so that they could still put a little TM mark next to the word black card. Another company called LifeWorks Technology Group trademarked the term for use on protective covers and cases for mobile phones, and it seems that they have licensed the term to Card LLC. So they are still able to put that little trademark thing next to it, but it's not actually trademarked by them for use in the credit card industry. I'm not a lawyer, guys, but it sounds like there's an interesting story there. But that still wouldn't be the black card. So in this video, I want to go through some insider stories from the black card, the Amex Centurion card, from various corners of the internet. And a big thank you to Masterworks for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. A few years ago, a former Amex Centurion and Platinum Concierge did an AMA, or Ask Me Anything, on Reddit using the online alias WooLife. Now this has been covered by other people, but there are some interesting points. First of all, how do you get the black card? Well, you can register your interest at centurion.com, but if you don't meet the requirements, you're basically applying to be rejected. Now there are no hard requirements, but our former concierge friend says that Amex expects to see $200,000 in spending per year in order for you to get an invite, and this is then backed up by another Amex rep who is apparently from the UK, who answers on the Reddit chat, who says that on the UK version they expect to see £200,000 in spending, which is about $250,000 US. Now that isn't an income requirement, that is what Amex expects to see you spending on your Amex cards in order to get an invite to the black card. So that would probably indicate an annual income of around $1 million or more. Now our friend worked as a concierge, and if you don't know, it's kind of a service that credit cards provide where they help customers out, okay? They book shows, book restaurants for them, help them obtain hard to get items. Here's the first question that someone asks him. How often were you asked to do something illegal or that would breach another client's security? Stories. People's minds just go straight to the gutter, don't they? Here's the response. Some did ask us to find hookers or escorts or rub and tugs, but we just always politely told them we were not able to. Kind of obvious, but the interesting thing is his next statement. We were not allowed to give information to anyone other than the person who made the request. We would have wives or husbands calling in asking what their significant other's last request was for, and we were not allowed to tell them a single detail. Even something as mundane as flowers or gifts, we could not tell. It was a common occurrence that a husband or wife would order a gift for their boyfriend or girlfriend on the side, and us giving out that information would be a huge breach in confidentiality. I think this is pretty amusing. It seems Amex has helped to further many extramarital affairs through their confidential concierge service. But what positive things could the Amex reps do? Well, our concierge friend talks about one time where he was able to obtain a Nintendo Wii just when it first came out for a client when they were sold out in stores all over the place. He eventually found one by calling loads of stores, and he found it in a store in a small town in Ohio. He sent a courier to pick it up, and it was dropped off at that customer's house by Christmas. Then there's another story about a customer who needed a new pair of pants after a very unfortunate incident. But first of all, since we are talking about Amex black cards and luxury items and things like that, one asset class that you may have never thought of investing in is is fine art. This opportunity used to be limited to billionaires who could afford paintings worth tens of millions of dollars, but now, thanks to Masterworks, you can buy fractional shares in paintings by artists such as Banksy, Andy Warhol, and Picasso. Everyone knows we're living through a period of high inflation, uncertain monetary policy, and overpriced real estate, which is why I believe it's more important than ever to consider diversifying asset classes. Contemporary art pieces outpace the S&P 500 total return by 164% from 1995 to 2021, and thus way outpaced inflation over that period. The team at Masterworks have over 75 years of art market experience. They know what they're doing when it comes to buying and selling art. In fact, they returned over 30% net IRR to investors on 3 paintings after only 1 year of holding them. And if you don't want to wait until Masterworks finds a buyer for a painting that you've bought fractional shares in, they have a secondary market too, where you can trade shares in Masterworks owned paintings with other investors. With stock market returns unsure for the foreseeable future, it's a great time to diversify your assets into art. And now you can do that thanks to Masterworks. So join over 400,000 people who've already signed up and start investing like the billionaires do. Check out Masterworks in the links below. So here's the story about the new pair of pants. A client was on a business trip in another state. He said he ate something that really upset his stomach, and right in the middle of the conference where he was on some sort of panel, he crapped his pants. He tried to pretend it didn't happen and ignore it, but I guess other people on the panel started to smell it. When he finally excused himself, some slipped down his leg and he left a little poo trail to the bathroom. He called me from the bathroom, mortified, but trying to laugh at the situation. I called the hotel concierge, who ran across the street, bought him a pair of underwear, socks, and pants, and brought it to the man in the bathroom. It's such a funny story. Can you imagine calling your Amex rep from the toilet stall, saying, hey, I just crapped my pants? And he goes on to say how he really nicely asked the hotel concierge to run the guy a bath in his room, so he had a bath to go up to. But people replied this: do you really want to take a bath after crapping your pants? I'd have gone with a shower. Yeah, I think I agree. I would prefer it to be rinsed off me rather than submerging myself in it. Anyway, here's another story, another really cool thing that our Amex rep friend used to do for his clients. I found a company in New York that would pretend to be paparazzi, and you could arrange so they randomly start following a friend or your significant other around. Same company would do surprise visits. If you knew where your significant other would be at any given time, they would run up with, say, a picnic for them, set up a blanket on the ground, basket, food, wine, get them all set up and leave. So your significant other would be completely caught off guard and shocked. But inside the basket would be a note from you saying enjoy. That's just one thing I thought of. They would do anything nice and surprising for you. The cost would depend on how elaborate you were, but you could do something that neat for only a couple of $100. I think it's pretty funny. Like, how many Z-list celebrities are there out there that only had paparazzi following them because their spouse arranged it for them so that they would feel wanted? As for spending, the biggest purchase that our friend Woo Life says that he saw or approved on an Amex Centurion card was a $13,000 Rolex, but that is nothing compared to our next black card holder. Chinese billionaire Liu Yiqian actually charged $170 million for this Amedeo Modigliani painting called Reclining Nude on his Amex black card. Was he able to charge it all in one go? Well, that's unclear, but he did say back in 2014, when he had purchased a Ming Dynasty cup at a Sotheby's auction for $36 million, that he had to perform the transaction on the black card in 24 individual swipes, which indicates that there was a transaction limit of $1.5 million. Perhaps that transaction limit can be lifted if you call American Express and tell them in advance, like, hey man, I'm just about to spend $170 million. Can you make sure that goes through for me? Now, American Express did not confirm, though, that he had spent $170 million for privacy reasons. Ugh. Come on, guys. But anyway, they did say to the Associated Press, a spokesperson told the Associated Press that in theory, it is possible to put a $170 million purchase on an American Express card. At the time, Zach Honig from The Points Guy estimated that he would be able to fly between Asia and Europe 3,000 times in Singapore Airlines first class suites with the points that he had earned from that $170 million transaction. Funny thing was that he wasn't even trying to earn points in the beginning. This was just something that his daughter told him about afterwards, but he was actually trying to get around China's laws that forbid citizens to move 50,000 or more US dollars out of the country. So he paid with his Amex card to an overseas auction and then paid the bill to the local bank in China that co-issued the card with American Express in the Chinese market. And that is the video, guys. Thank you so much to Masterworks for sponsoring this episode. Their link is below. And this is actually the second video that we have done on Amex Black Card insider stories. In part one, we talked to an actual Amex Black Card holder from China who had a load of cool stories about that card. He's not the $170 million painting guy, but it's another guy, equally cool. I'll put that on screen, you can check it out. And if you are an Amex Black Card holder yourself and you would like to provide some material for a part 3, okay, like to tell us some stories completely anonymously, of course, your identity will not be revealed. But anyway, if you're interested in that, DM me on Instagram, okay? That's the most easiest way, at the Credit Shifu on Instagram. That's the easiest way to get hold of me. We would love to hear some cool stories about the Amex Black Card. All right, guys, please subscribe to the channel if you're new. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.